What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode of the 1 Second of Strength podcast. I hope you're doing great wherever you're at. I'm grateful you're spending a couple of your valuable seconds with me. As always, I got Putter right here. I can't adjust the camera to let you see him, but if you're watching it, I don't know if you know this, you can watch these episodes on YouTube. If you listen to them in your car ride, that's great too. But you can watch these on YouTube. I record them all. But anyway, I'm grateful you're here. So today we're talking about relationships and how specifically important it is for you to boost your relationships. There's something in psychology called the magic ratio. And this magic ratio really states that we are, as human beings, more predispositioned to remember the negative things that happen to us instead of the positive. And so if you think about this, and so this episode, if you're a teenager, this is super important. We're going to talk how it leans into you. If you are a parent, critically important. If you're married, critically important. If you're dating someone, critically important. Because what I'm going to talk about today has the capacity or the ability to shape every relationship in your life, including, and maybe most importantly, the relationship you have with yourself. And so we as humans, we think a whole bunch of negative thoughts all the time. And I've talked many times on this podcast that your thoughts become your behaviors become your experiences become your emotions, and those emotions lead back to your thoughts. And so we have this like cycle all the time: thoughts, behaviors, experiences, emotions, all the time happening in our brains. What happens is that when we think negative thoughts or a negative thing happens to us, we easily, very simply internalize that negative, right? I want you to think for a second, very, very logically, if you were to read reviews about a product or about a company, you go to Yelp, whatever it is, most of the reviews that people take the time to leave are negative, right? Because when we have that negative experience, we feel this need that we've got to go and tell everyone. We've got to make sure the company knows that we've been mistreated. But like, how many positive experiences do we have in reviews that we never, ever, ever, ever leave a review for? By the way, if you haven't done so already, go leave a rating and review. Make sure it's positive. By the way, I need positive reviews, but a rating and review for this episode or for the podcast, because it helps get this out to everyone else. But anyway, that's aside the point. But so you think about the negativity, right? We are, as humans, are predispositioned to internalize and feel much more deeply those negative experiences. And so the magic ratio is 5-to-1. What psychology says is that for every negative experience we have, that we internalize, we need 5 positives. And so think about that in the relationships in your life. If you are married, then healthy couples, couples that stand the test of time, are the couples who incorporate this 5-to-1 ratio. Yes, there's going to be hard conversations. Yes, there's going to be negative things that happen in your marriage, in your life. Yes, we get it. But are you having 5 positives for all of those negatives? Are you, and there's a couple ways we can do this, right? It's expressing appreciation. Are you spending quality time? Are you apologizing and forgiving? Are you accepting their perspective? And are you keeping light, and are you keeping it fun? So like, there's lots of ways that we can incorporate these positive experiences for all of the negative experiences that you have. But it's critically important that you do it, because if we don't, then all we're doing is creating separation. All we're creating is constantly damaging relationships. If you're a teenager and you've got a circle of friends, you've got a group of friends, well, are you making sure that the experience that you are having with them or that they're having with you are positive? If the experiences are always negative and they're not being and you're not incorporating the 5-to-1 ratio, then you're going to find yourself unhappy. You're going to find yourself with friends who you're going to think don't really care about you or don't really value you or don't really love you. And so you have to question, are those the relationships and are those the friends that you need to be around? And then going back the other way, are you making sure that your conversations with them and the things that you're doing with them, are they positive? Are you incorporating the 5-to-1 magic ratio, or are you not? Because if you are constantly creating negative scenarios or negative experiences with your friends, then they're not going to want to be around you either. And so think about how you're showing up every single day in your relationships, with your partner, your spouse, with your boyfriend, girlfriend, with your friends. How are you showing up every single day with them? And if you've got to adjust the 5-to-1 ratio and increase the positivity, increase the light so things aren't just negative, then do so now, because it is the difference between maintaining healthy relationships or breaking the relationships and severing them for potentially ever. And so we got to think about that. But maybe most importantly is the relationship you have with yourself. I think that we are predispositioned to say negative things to ourselves consistently. We think so many negative thoughts in a day. I think one time I read 60,000 negative thoughts, or 60,000 thoughts, and like 80% of those are negative. And so think about that. If we're thinking that many negative thoughts, well, the ratio is already off. The other day I was having a conversation with my wife, and she was frustrated with something, and I said, okay, now say positive things about you. And the crazy thing is that if I were to tell you right now, if you are beating yourself up for something, and I said, okay, now say 3 things positive about yourself. Tell me 3 things you love about yourself. I'm willing to bet that it's hard. It is hard to find the good in even ourselves. And so if you think about it, your 5-to-1 ratio is off. You're not loving yourself enough, and you're increasing the negativity in your life. And if we're doing that, then we're not finding happiness. We're just not. And so the most important relationship you have in your life is the relationship you have with yourself. You spend every single second of every single day with yourself. But then so many of our thoughts are negative. So many of our negative thoughts are leading to negative behaviors, which are then causing us to have these negative experiences in life, which make us feel negative emotions. And then we have these negative emotions that make us reinforce the negative thoughts that we don't love ourselves and we don't like ourselves. And the truth is that you are incredible. So what are those wonderful 5-to-1 ratio things that you need to adjust in your own life, even when you look in the mirror, to accept yourself, to appreciate yourself? And you may not be where you want to be. You may, have these goals and dreams, or maybe, you're beating yourself up for one thing or another. I get it. That's life. That's life. But we've got to stop that cycle. You got to break it. You got to stop that cycle so that you can then have positive things. Because here's what happens. Our brains have these reticular activating systems where we go to work reinforcing the negative thoughts that we say about ourselves. We say negative things about ourselves, and then we start looking for evidence in the world that validates the negative things we're saying about ourselves. But if you were to do the opposite, and if you were to say something you love about yourself, then your brain will go to work reinforcing the positivity that you are accepting into your life. And then you will have more positive experiences, and then you'll have positive behaviors, experiences, and then even more positive emotions about yourself. And then you'll look in the mirror and you'll just see love. You'll see that you love yourself more because you've implemented these things that are going to help you be happier, help you recognize the good in your life. So I need you to internalize this. There's a magic ratio of happiness for the relationships in your life, and it's 5-to-1. For every negative interaction you have with yourself, with someone else, with your spouse, there's got to be 5 positives that help you see the good, see the light, so that you can create and embrace and bring more happiness into your life. I hope that helps you. I hope that makes sense. So think about the 5-to-1. Think about what you can do. And most importantly, remember that you are with yourself all the time. Love yourself more. Accept yourself more. Spend that quality time with yourself and be accepting of who you are and all the good that is in your life. And I promise, when you do that, it'll change your every single day. I'll leave you the same way I leave you every single time. And first, if you haven't done so already, leave a rating and review for the show. And then share this with someone. Somebody needs this in their life today, I'm sure of it. And you're the person who can bring that into them. So send them a note, send them a text message, share it on your social media. You can always tag me at Real Tanner Clark, but share it on your social media and let people know that this is an episode that might help them. So I'll leave you the same way I always leave you. Go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.